Holy moly, guys. I think I'm pretty much by myself in here today. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Well, like I said, with the exception of that one truck coming at the end of that first shot, I am pretty much, what I can tell, by myself here at Cypress Lawn here in Colma. We're gonna do a little exploring vlog today, and I've got a little bit of an update on the Mystic Crypt. I did receive a final answer from Cypress Lawn regarding a cleanup effort and everything else, and I will let you guys know what that is, right? So I did get a final email from Cypress Lawn from Aracela. Shout out to her. She's very, very nice, very, very knowledgeable about the cemetery. I had thrown out there maybe getting some kind of crowdfunding going for maybe a cleanup effort for inside of the Mystic Crypt here, or the Fern Grotto, which is, we now know that she told me the name was the Fern Grotto. And basically had told me that, you know, due to liability issues, which I kind of knew, you know, how it was going to play out, and I get it. Due to liability issues, there's not going to be any access allowed in there, you know, so I don't think right now they're not interested in any kind of cleanup efforts for this area right now. Maybe at some point in the future, who knows? They do tours of the cemetery at times during the month, and it would be but it would be really awesome if they could pretty much include this on their tour, if at some point, someday, they could clean it up. Because it is an old historic area here, part of the cemetery's history, and I think it deserves to be cleaned up and, you know, maybe included in their tour at some point. But right now, due to liability issues, as I stated and as they stated, there's not going to be anything going on in here anytime soon. So that's how it is, guys. And like I said, I knew it was going to play out that way. You know, I kind of got, you know, it's old in there. There's stuff going on in there, overgrowth and old wood in there and stuff. So kind of knew how that was going to go down. So maybe someday, we can only hope. At the top of the gate here, the one thing I did not notice when I've been here before is it's written up here, it looked like some kind of Sharpie, the Crypt. But like I said, that's okay. We're gonna do an explorer vlog here. I am armed once again with the book Pillars of the Past. And we're gonna walk around here and see what else we can discover in here. Now we'll start off at this grave. This is the grave of Jenny Roosevelt Poole. And it says, "The angel of grief weeping over the dismantled altar of life. A 7-ton statue in marble is a copy of the original by Massachusetts-born sculptor William Wetmore Story, 1819 to 1895. The monument was placed at Cypress Lawn for Poole, a cousin of Theodore Roosevelt and widow of I. Lawrence Poole, a nephew of the Right Reverend William I. Kipp, Episcopal Bishop of California. Upon Mr. Poole's death, his body was shipped east for burial in the family's New York vault. Jenny Roosevelt Poole, who died in New York but considered San Francisco home, left instructions that her body be returned to California for burial at Cypress Lawn. The angel of grief was placed in her memory by her sister, Catherine Babcock." So, this is an interesting one. Beautiful, beautiful grave here, and cousin of Theodore Roosevelt, Jenny Poole Roosevelt. And I've showed you the guys this grave before, but I, you know, got a little bit more info on it, on the statue and everything else. Very, very beautiful. And this is the Rogers area, Arthur Rogers. This is a beautiful area. Arthur lived from 1848 to 1902. Active in the Democratic Party of California and a prominent attorney, Rogers avidly supported the University of California, from which he graduated 1872. The Rogers Vault is counted among the great art treasures of Cypress Lawn. The exterior is done in classic Egyptian revival style, and that theme is maintained throughout. Above the entry is the Egyptian sun disk, traditionally used on all public buildings in Egypt. An urn signifying the eternal flame is above the intricately decorated door. Sphinxes guard the entry and frame the entire setting. He was placed in the vault August 6th, 1903. So he died in 1902, and he wasn't placed in here until 1903, probably because I'm sure they had to actually build this massive structure here. This is just gorgeous. It takes up a lot of room here as well. And here are the sphinxes they were referring to. I've showed these before too, but I love these. These are just such detail. So let's kind of go over here, take a little peek inside. There's still visitors. There's pretty fresh flowers in here. As you can see, Arthur is above the top one in the middle there. The floor is beautifully decorated, as you can see, the tile, and there's still, like I said, fresh flowers, it looks like. So they still, you know, they're still getting some love in here, which is a good thing. They are not forgotten. A little bit closer shot. On the bottom is Elizabeth Rogers, and above her is Arthur. And there's family on the sides as well. Kind of hard to really get a good view of that, as you can see. There's a Frank Jones. It's kind of hard to see some of these names. You guys can make them out on camera. That'd be awesome. We got an Annie Montgomery over here. April 30th, 1942. But yeah, this thing's just gorgeous. And on the sides here, we've got looks like a little seating area on the sides. And the doors, the bottom of the doors here, beautiful. And this huge one over here is the final resting place of Samuel Mountford Wilson. He was an American lawyer, member of the California Constitutional Committee, 1878 to 1879. Also, chairman, Judiciary Board. Refused to sign the finished Constitution. Member Board freeholders, which drafted new municipal charter for San Francisco, 1879. And it said a little bit about his career. A partner with Colonel, lawyer, especially in civil cases. So I don't think there's no open look to look in. There's a vent above the door. I just came over here because this one is just awesome, but you can't see through the door, unfortunately. Oops, I dropped something. Excuse me. But this door is beautiful as well. Look at the design on it. This thing's locked up tighter than a drum, unfortunately, but I thought it was awesome anyway to look at it. Wait, is there windows on the side? I doubt it. I don't think there's any windows or anything inside of it. Oh, there is a window, but it's high up and covered with special glass where you can't even see through it, as you can tell probably from here, from this vantage point. Here is the final resting place of John Dolbear, 1827 to 1902. And it says the $23,000 Dolbear Mausoleum was built by Raymond Granite Company to house the remains of Bertha Dolbear, 1877 to 1904, daughter of lumber millionaire industrialist John Dolbear, who threw himself from a window at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York, dying of multiple fractures. Haig Patigan, a noted San Francisco sculptor, designed the elegant bronze door depicting the Angel of Death. Let's check out this door here. The name above. Guess this is the Angel of Death on the door here. crazy. The interior is ornamented with a stained glass window, it says. We'll go around the backside and check that out in a sec. John Dolbear, a lumber tycoon, remembered as the inventor of the famed steam donkey engine that revolutionized the lumber industry. Ah. And he was moved to Cypress Lawn upon completion of the family vault March 9th, 1903. So, let's go around over here and check out the window. We can see it from back here. Let's see here. Is there anything to see on this side? Well, at least they got it covered with a metal grate. Can't hardly see the actual design because of the metal grate, but that's good that they did that, because, you know, we've seen a lot of these that are completely broken after some years. See a crow on the top of the Dolbear mausoleum here. Following me around, guys. I think you guys are. I hear you over in the trees over there. Here is J. Henry Meyer, a figure in the financial life of San Francisco, president of California's Street Cable Railroad Company, and a director in nearly a score of large Western firms. Died last night at his home in Menlo Park. Death came after several months' illness. He was a native of Sacramento and 66 years old. As a business executive of Antoine Borel, a leading financier in San Francisco's early days, and later as an independent banker, Meyer exercised great influence in the development of the street railways in San Francisco and street rail system in Los Angeles. Other firms thrived notably under his guidance. Much of the capitalist time was given to the J. Meyer Company, a banking firm on Montgomery Street, of which he was president. He was the chief executive also in the City of Suburban Realty Company and the Mission Terrace Company. Wow, okay. J. Henry Meyer. I found that on Find a Grave. That was actually his, I guess, obituary. So, there's the name above the door, J. Henry Meyer. This one's got glass in it that's open, the door. It looks like it still gets visits in here. This is gorgeous. Got close together bars in the door, so it's kind of hard to see. Let's see here.
That's what I figured.
Be quiet, Siri. I'm looking for J. Henry Meyer. Ah, he's over here. He's over here. It's kind of hard to see. The middle, on the left side over here in the middle, that's J. Henry Meyer. And then various members of his family as well in here. He was born in Sacramento, California on March 24th, 1855. And he died in Menlo Park, San Mateo County, 30th of March, 1921. And it said, as I said earlier, aged 66. Yeah, man, he was, president of the California Street Cable Railroad Company was one of the things he did. The final resting place fitting of such a man, I guess, right? This one here, Alfred Stewart Tubbs, on the hill here, on the little mound here. Born in San Francisco, son of a prominent pioneer, the Harvard-educated Tubbs was president of Tubbs Cordage Company, manufacturers of rope. He was married to the former Alice Hagar. They are entombed in the elevated marble sarcophagus at Cypress Lawn Cemetery. Look at this. This is beautiful. Him and his wife are entombed inside this. Beautiful. It's all very, very detailed. Both sides. Little steps coming up from, you come up the hill here. Little steps, and they got little on either side, little flowers or something. It's very, very beautiful. Let's do a walk around of this. Let's see what's going on here. You kind of get an idea how big this thing is. Takes up a decent amount of space here. Here we go. Alice Hagar Tubbs, January 10th, 1871 to December 22nd, 1955. And Alfred Stewart Tubbs, June 13th, 1856 to March 25th, 1935. His company manufactured rope, that was very, very interesting. So this is the final resting place of George Payne. Now what's interesting is I looked up this family in the Pillars of the Past book and even on Find a Grave. And on Find a Grave I found it. It didn't really have much on George, but looks like George Jr. here that is also inside of this beautiful mausoleum. Looks like George Jr. drowned while swimming in the Russian River. That was what I could find on George Jr. George Jr. was born the 25th of December, 1888, and died July 6th, 1913. And then Senior was born November 17th, 1859, and died November 5th, 1934. And like I said, there's nothing on the father here about what he was, what he did. So if any of you guys, my genealogy buffs, can find out any more about this family, that would be greatly appreciated. You can throw it in the comment box below. But let's take a look at the inside of this beautiful, beautiful mausoleum. And there's windows in the door that are slightly open, as you can see upon walking up to it. And oh my goodness, look at the ceiling. This is just gorgeous. It still gets visitors here, as you can see inside. There's a little broom over there on the left. Still gets visitors. It's beautiful inside of here. Gorgeous. This is the final resting place of Porter Sensen and family. 1900 to 1991. Wow. Third generation of a family of Vermont woodcutters who headed for California prior to the advent of the gold rush. Sensen became a San Francisco banker and businessman. He began his career as a junior officer with Crocker Bank. He was a former director, president, and chairman of the County Bank of Santa Cruz. For years, he was president of the Porter Estate Company, a holding company for his family's ranches in Nevada and California. Sensen was president and director of the California State Automobile Association for a time, president of the Grand National Junior Livestock Exposition, and president of the Cow Palace in San Francisco, the legendary Cow Palace, the arena in San Francisco, California there. Very, very interesting. And here's the main stone here. And there's just, under the Porter name, there's Sarah, Benjamin, Kate, and Edward. There's a Carton name here. It's Henry and Barbara. And under Sensen is Catherine, William, Mary Porter, Helen Freeman Porter, Porter Jr., and J. Boyd. And there's another name over here, Bellis Kathy, 1939 to 1988. As you can see over here, this beautiful section over here. Very windy today, guys, so I do apologize. Gorgeous. I came over to this stone because it was very, very interesting. Thought it was really, really awesome and detailed. This little bust in here. I guess this is Emmeline M. North Whitcomb. Died November 10th, 1925, I do believe. And I just caught this stone, caught my eye. There's really nothing on her, but her husband, George Whitcomb, was a U.S. Navy veteran of the Mexican-American War and Civil War. And I guess he is actually elsewhere in here. He might be in here somewhere, but I haven't located his stone yet. Her husband, George. But I just thought this bust, or this little mini bust inside here was really, really cool. Actually, I located her husband's stone. I'm surprised they're not together, like buried together. But if you go, you look at the stone from the front and you go off to, I guess that would be the left on the screen here. Her husband is right here. Civil War veteran. It says kind of hard to make out. It's really, really weathered, the stone. But a U.S. Navy veteran of the Mexican-American War and the Civil War. George Whitcomb. This is an interesting section over here because I've never been over here before. It's kind of like behind a lot of the big mausoleums off in the distance here. I might stick around here and try to look up a few more people over here. This is very interesting. And before I end this video, we'll do one more. This is the one that caught my eye as well. Look at this one. Dr. A. Chalmers Stoddart is the name. Doctor. It's right here. Born September 16th, 1847, died August 25th, 1910. Was a doctor. A very, very beautiful stone. Like I said, I was walking through this part and it just jumped out at me and caught my eye. And it looks like Find a Grave has, in the bio of this, people buried under the same monument. Archibald Stoddart, George Schneider, Emma Schneider, John Maroney, and William Baxter. That's awesome. This section over here looks like it's just super old. With some of these stones, man, it's just... stones are kind of moving around in here. I don't know what's with the earth shifting around, but as you can see, there's like these stones that are kind of facing the right way, but then we got a stone right here that's kind of sideways. Meta Wilkin, 1822 to 1905, but as you can see it's sideways, and all the other stones here are kind of like that, and a lot of these stones are crooked as well. Let's look at this one. Looks like it's fallen over. Looks like it's kind of... look at this one. But it has a Woodman of the World on the front of it. It's kind of hard to read. In the front of it, it's a book. It's like a book, but I think it's Joseph, but I can't make out anything else on it. That's crazy. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much. We're gonna end it here. Thank you all so much for joining me on this adventure. It was fun, it was great. This book, legit. You know, if I can't find it in here, I can find it on Find a Grave. So, but this book so far has been a lifesaver out here. When sometimes Find a Grave might fail you, they just very well might be in this book. So, like once again, kudos to Cypress Lawn. And we'll get back to it with another video very, very soon. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.